So what I want us to do is to start becoming more conscious, start choosing things in a better way for ourselves, and start creating a life that's going to gear us to really take advantage of the opportunities that are going to show up for us in the years to come.
This podcast is brought to you by The Integrated Human. We work up, down, inside out to plug yourself into your potential. If you want to see what we are up to and what's next, sign up to our newsletter or follow us on social media. If you like what we are doing, we really appreciate it if you can like our post on social media and YouTube and help us grow.
All right. Welcome to the Big and Small Podcast. This is Jason Shields, and I'm big.
And I'm Marit Gabrielsen, and I'm the tiny one.
In the hot seat again. I
In
love
the
it.
hot seat.
Bring
I
it.
get so warm.
Every
time we start.
It's lit. Yeah.
Every time I'm like, it's cold. I'm putting on a scarf.
Yeah, we both have sweaters on,
And when we start the podcast, I'm like, so during the introduction, I always have to kind of start to undress.
Yeah.
Oh, so warm. Hello. We are ready.
Yes, it's good to be back.
It's very good to be back. I hope our listeners have enjoyed some visitors we've had. We had David Briselli, we had Susanna Volgol, we had Tatiana Strober. We have had a lot of cool people.
Yeah, we have.
This summer. That is, in short, describes our summer. It's been hectic.
Yes.
Very fun.
Very fun.
Meeting a lot of interesting people. It's been very good.
So much power for change, for good, for happiness. People who have devoted their lives to making other people's lives better, spending time with them and resonating is so interesting. You know, it's so beautiful and intense at the same time, because when healers, transformers, people who are standing up for the human race get together, it is so intense.
Yeah, and it's from my background, you know, if you listen to the first podcast, you know, the whole yoga pants thing is not my thing. But what I found with especially our wonderful German friends is that they have lives that I would like to live. They have things that, you know, what you have, I also would like to have.
Yes.
The connection you have, both spiritual and material, it's not either or. They show in their way that the combination is possible.
Well, we are the new breed of yogi, or you could say we are the new enlightened version of entrepreneurs. We will have a spiritual life and we will have a material life. It's not giving one up for the other.
They don't exclude each other. They're really building on each other.
Because you work up,
down, inside out.
That's it. And your outside should be a reflection, or actually is a reflection of your up down. You know, inside and then out. Because your decisions over time will create the life around you. You know, people think about, well, yeah, that one thing happened to me in 1972 and that's why everything's been shit since. Really? How many decisions have you made since then and you haven't been able to move yourself forward at all? Or is it the case that everybody who wins the lottery and got lucky that one time has a great life?
And also, if you look at Donald Trump, you really think he's happy?
Yeah, that guy.
I do not think that man is happy.
No. He's vengeful. He's gotten his, you know, he's in trouble. He's a scoundrel.
When he goes golfing, I don't think he paused for a minute to take one conscious breath.
No, I don't think so.
And enjoy the sun on his face and think,
no.
God darn it, how lucky aren't I that can do this.
Yeah, if he stopped for a moment and took a break and became conscious, I think he would have a breakdown.
Yeah, so we can have both.
Yes, you can have the full package, guys, and that's the whole point. And these people are the example. We are the example. And you get people in a room, you get them in the same area, and you start to resonate back and forth. And it's just like, at one point, I remember Susanna, she said, you know, it's so beautiful to sit with people who don't even think about competition because they understand oneness. And I said, yes, it's about oneness. Yeah, she's amazing.
And actually, we're having an Instagram live with her on her channel.
Yeah.
I can actually post her Instagram in this chat, or not chat, but bio for the podcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an Instagram live with her on her channel October the 7th at 7 o'clock Central Europe time.
Yep.
Of course, free because it is a live event on Instagram. So more than welcome to tune in there.
Show up.
Yeah. And so back to, we actually have questions today.
Oh,
so
bring it.
First question is from moi, because while we have this podcast, I feel free to ask my own questions first.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the point.
If you want your questions to ask first, make a podcast.
Invite us.
We will answer your questions.
Yes.
So I'm going to give kind of a background story, because I like telling stories, and then I'm going to get to the question.
Sweet.
So I was scrolling my Instagram.
Instagram.
You know? No.
The gram.
Instagram. Most likely it was Instagram. And I get to this, I think it's Dr. What's it called? Strange? Dr. Strange?
Oh, I love Dr. Strange.
I think it's number 1. And then you have Kill Bill, she's not Kill Bill there, but the Kill Bill lady. Uma Thurman.
Yeah, Uma Thurman.
Yeah, okay. Well,
hey,
okay.
Did you know that I was in love with Uma Thurman when I was 13?
Well, she was Kill Bill, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was the heroine in Kill Bill. She was the one who wanted to kill Bill. And I think he did, yeah. But yeah, anyway, David Carradine was Bill, by the way. And he was also one of my heroes, but I wasn't in love with him.
Okay.
He's the reason why I'm a black belt in Kung Fu, by the way.
Okay.
Bill.
Yeah. I was watching Doctor Strange. And he's kind of, because I can't remember the movie, and our movie experts, I love when they comment afterwards on the podcast. And that's not what they said. Yeah. That was the wrong quote. Yeah. His name is, and I love it. So please forgive me. But
correct us.
I think it's number 1. And if I remember correctly, because it's many years since I watched the whole movie, but Doctor Strange is kind of coming into his powers, and it doesn't quite go that well in the beginning, as it shouldn't. And then Kill Bill, which is not Kill Bill, but the lady,
Uma Thurman.
Thank you. Not Truman, expect.
Thurman.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
She says something, go with the river. Start about surrendering to the river, and then something about using its power.
Yes.
I can't remember that.
That's it.
But, because my brain stopped with the word surrender.
Uh-huh.
So now we're getting into the question. Soon. A little bit more story. So, surrender. And then I reflected back to the podcast we have a while back this summer about using a technique all the way, and then you need to let go of the technique. You need to surrender.
Yes.
And I just kind of started wondering, what is actually the difference between surrender and giving up?
This is a good question.
Because how?
Yeah, good question.
Very good question. Thank you. Thank you. Because I'm like, I have an issue to know the difference. Because I understand it like in a vivid point of view, but if it comes down to myself and I was gonna do it, I would be like, yeah, but then I just fuck it.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Not my thing. So, and that's not surrender, because surrender is more.
Yes.
But I'm like, so what is
more.
This more?
So much more.
So, question.
Yes.
What's the difference between surrendering and giving up?
Excellent. Okay. Now.
I'm going to bring my tea now.
Yes. And push record. Like.
Yeah,
okay. Now, it's very important to understand the difference between giving up and surrendering. Because when the word surrender comes up, you also often feel like you are, excuse the word, you're bitching out, or you're avoiding responsibility, or you are no longer living your dreams, or you're giving up your authority to somebody else, or surrender, I've lost the war, therefore I
surrender.
Exactly. And that's the problem with the way people are using that word, because it means so many different things, just like all words are used in different contexts, okay? But in a process-oriented spiritual self-development context, there are two different ways to look at surrender. The first one is, okay, for the people listening to this podcast, you may or may not know that we're sitting in chairs and we're in a podcast room. Okay? So surrendering to the fact that you're in the chair in a podcast room, meaning that you don't want to be anywhere else. You're not trying to leave. You're not trying to make it sound like you're in Zimbabwe on a safari on the back of an elephant. Exactly. Cheeky monkey sounds. Cheeky monkey sounds. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was an elephant. Okay. We got to work on that one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So. So you have to, in a way,
accepting where I am.
Acceptance, exactly. And acceptance doesn't mean that you don't want to go somewhere else in the next moment.
No, for that I worked with.
Yeah.
We worked that in one of the mastermind groups about both acceptance. It's about understanding. You may want to be in New York, but you are in China. Accept you are in China, so you actually can go to New York.
Yeah, because if you don't know where your feet are, you can't move in a good direction. You don't know, if you don't know where you want to go or you don't know where you are, any direction's the same because you have no idea. What is it? Should I go this way or that way? I have no idea. Accepting your situation is not the same as wanting to have that the rest of your life. So surrendering to the living moment means giving all of yourself over to being in this moment, to being in this situation so that you can get traction to go in the direction that you want. That's surrender. Also, giving yourself the opportunity to really know what something is. Okay? So what do I mean by that? What's my nickname?
Too much.
Too much. Because if you knew anything about me, you would know that that's a very good nickname, right? Because
it's an accurate nickname.
It's accurate. Yeah. It's accurate.
You said it's good. But I don't think necessarily your wife think it's good.
But do always. Well, that's the thing. Everything is good and bad. And this is my point. Do I give myself an opportunity to really know what something is by doing it all the way?
Yes.
Yes. I do it so much. I give myself the gift of doing something so much that I fill up the box and then I go outside the box to make sure that I got the whole thing. So that when I walk away from it, I know what that shit is. Right? So the process of spirituality, the first question is, what is it? And then why? But if you don't know what it is, you don't know why. So what is this? What is it? Is the first question of understanding the universe. That is science. People are, you have to do science. This is the quintessential, the key, the center, the mecca, the fountainhead. It is the ground zero of science. What is it? And in order to understand what something is, you have to go all in, which means surrendering yourself to that situation. That means being all in it. Doesn't mean going 90%. Doesn't mean going 95%. It means fucking fill the box up and then push it so that it flows over the edge. Because in order to understand it, you have to know where the edge is.
Yeah, so go back to...
Yeah.
The Kill Bill thing.
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill. It says, go...
Uma Thurman.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved her. I was in love with her as a 13-year-old.
I understand that. You said her name like 15 times.
Thurman. Oh, Uma. Broke my heart. Hanging out with superstars and such. Didn't even call me back. I didn't have her phone number. Come on.
Of course you didn't have her phone number.
13 years old. Yeah.
She didn't have a phone number.
But in my imagination.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not a stalker.
In this scene, she says surrender to the river. So then just kind of to get another picture on it, so I can understand from not a very high up there. Because, yeah. Anyways, she said surrender to the river. That means that he should stop running or swimming against it. More swim with it and see and kind of use the power of the river.
Yeah.
Because the river's going to take you anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. You can deny, or in this case, he's the chosen one. But he's denying being the chosen one. It's like, bro, you're the chosen one, and the river of your life is moving you in that direction. You can't fight it. So you might as well stop using your energy fighting it and use your energy on trying to figure out how to handle the river and how to use the river. It's like, that's really the thing. So, let's say theoretically that somebody told you that you were a god. And that was a fact for you. And anytime that you tried to do anything else, you got hammered, beat up, unhappy, run over, and everything. Anytime you landed in that river of knowingness about your infinite self, you just move forward. What would it be better to do? Deny or go with the river?
Go with the river.
Yeah, right? And of course, for most people out there in the world, we're using a theoretical situation. And that's what he's this magician, this great magician, and he's just not getting it to work because he can't truly accept that that's him. And once he's there, then it works.
Then you also can relate that to, because to bring it down to kind of the process we're working with the people we're working with. Often I see that people, they have an experience, but then they get very doubtful. But then they kind of, and so that will kind of be the same thing, because that old pattern has given so much. Mm-hmm. So to do that is kind of, they kind of want to do that to get off-drifted, but then they get the same results instead of surrendering to the new self.
Yeah, well, I have a couple of things. The first one there, and these are important. The first one is that if you are changing and you have doubts, congratulations. That means that you're actually changing. Because changing is scary, changing is the unknown, changing is, we are genetically programmed to go, because this is safe, and that's, I don't know. The unknown. People will stay in a hellish situation because they fear the unknown. They fear the next step. They fear change.
It could be even worse.
Hey, well, you have no idea, right? Exactly. And actually, just the idea that it could be something that you don't know, or something that you have to adapt to, or that, because the hell you know is better than the hell you don't. Mm. The maybe hell. So you have to be brave to want to do some kind of internal process, and there will be falling back. It's kind of like even people who really love working out, have periods where they fall away from working out and they go back to it, right? The whole point is to recover, to come back to the process. So everything in your life has highs and lows. It's funny and childish to think that you're only going to be happy and only going to have wins. You're going to have losses because that's part of the win. Losing is part of figuring out where the limits are and what something is. Do you understand? Like, how can you know that you're in a room unless you meet the wall? You're gonna bump into the walls. You're gonna find out that there are limitations to the room.
Yeah, right now myself, I can say that I've gotten to the point where when it's shitty, I go, good.
Yeah, good.
And it's not kind of like you become happy, far from it. But that the thing Moksha gave me, and Arik is giving me, is that piece of calmness somewhere, where I'm able to not freak the fuck out even when it's a storm outside.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to finally have gotten to the point where most of the times when that happens, I go, good. That means that it will turn.
Yes, exactly.
It will actually turn. I'm looking forward to it turns.
Yeah.
And when it does turn, I go, this is freaking good.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So I don't do the opposite there and go, oh my god, it's so good, it's gonna get bad. But I really use that when it's I'm confused and it will pass. This will pass, and then something good will come out of it because I am moving forward. Because everything I do is moving up and forward.
And it's
therefore
not exactly.
It must be very good at the end.
Exactly.
So especially after every flow state that we have, I feel my whole life is just kind of thrown up in the air, and then they are slowly coming down again to readjust themselves to the new pattern that we created.
Yeah.
And that process is a little bit of a mess because not everything falls down at the same time, and then you where you used to step, there's not a trace anymore because it's a new direction you're taking. So right in those 2 weeks after, it's always kind of like, okay, just stay calm now because this is going to be really good when it's calmed itself down. Yeah. So and even if it's a day where everything just hitting, managing to understand and really know. And that's also a change that I felt from saying it to knowing it, that it's going to be good soon. Yeah. Because this is not good.
Yeah.
This is freaking awful.
Yeah, and the important thing is that it's at some point during a renovation,
it's going to be much more messy.
It's going to be messy first. It's like I always tell the story of my professor that I had at university, and this guy, him and his wife were both professors. And his kids came home from work one time, and they're like, hey, you have to fix this place up. This place is a mess. First of all, they had these 2 big chairs, and they had stacks of books with plates in between them because they just would read all night long and, get their dinner, and they, put a plate there and read a book and put, it was a mess. And also the lighting there was crap. They haven't renovated since the 50s, right? This is a while back, right? So, but the house was like from the 1950s. And not a nice 1950s. It was just shabby. So they're like, you guys are both professors. You have lots of money. You're going to fix this up. And he came in and he was all stressed out and didn't look good. And I'm like, are you okay, professor? And he's like, no, my life is shit right now. And I said, really? Yeah, man, it's fucking horrible. I had this place where I could sit down calmly at peace and I could read my books, and my wife would read her books, and we'd go to bed and have a good time. We'd go to work and come back.
Food between there.
Yeah, the plates in between, and then, but their life was learning. And now he said, there's no place for my books. There's wires hanging from the ceiling. It's cold. It's drafty because they tore down the walls. There's no insulation. It's horrible. There's dust everywhere. They got dust on my books. He was really worried about it. And I'm like, just be patient with it. Be patient. It's going to get better. He said, I can't imagine it getting better. This is just horrible. It's like, it's wrecking me. I'm so far behind now. He was just all in the whole trauma of the change. And then 3 weeks later, I've never seen the guy happier. He's like, I can see better. I have
lighting.
I have lighting for his books. He has these spotlights over, and he doesn't have to have a lamp anymore. And he said it's easier for him to categorize his books. He has actually more wall space, and they have a new bookshelf where they can put the things so they don't have to have them next to the chairs. He said, it's amazing. Like, my life is so much better now. But that was difficult. And everybody understands, it's difficult, but then it gets better. It doesn't get better. You get better. You see, it sucks as you're changing, but then the result is that you are better. And you take you everywhere you are. So you suffer for a short time in a process. You also have good times during that process, by the way. Everybody focuses on the suck. But you also have amazing discoveries and love and creativity and connection, all kinds of cool emotions, but everybody's afraid of the suck. So we talk about the suck, but the whole process of change is very interesting. But then at the end, you are better, and everywhere you are,
there you are.
That's it. So speaking of that, I was talking to 2 people who had been at the Tony Robbins event, the Unleash the Power Within event. Okay?
And just as said, for people that don't know, both you and Steve has done Tony Robbins.
Yeah, I've done everything in Tony Robbins.
Because he's too much.
Yes.
No, you are. So, like he is. So you are.
Yeah. I'm too much.
You've done everything.
Yeah, I've been there.
For all the hours, and Tony Robbins for all the hours.
And I'm meditation for all the hours, and Zen for all the hours, and Tai Chi for all the hours, and Kung Fu. I have 2 black belts. I have brown belt. I've been national teams training.
Too much.
I went all the way and all the stuff. Okay, let's just say that, you know, and I went to his Date with Destinies and his, financial freedom program and his leaderships and his coachings, and man, I did it. And these two people were like, "Hey, man, have you ever heard of Tony Robbins?" And I'm like, "Sit down, let me tell you a little bit." Yes, I have. They'd just been there and they are so stoked. And I'm like, "That's really good for you. I'm really happy that you're so stoked." And like they're coming back the week after, they're going to change their lives. It's amazing. I call them up the week after that again. So the second week, after. 2 weeks after they're just at the seminar, and his partner is depressed. And they were just like, buying rebounders so they could get up every morning and chant, and as they're jumping up and down and doing their thing, and they were going to, change their lives. Why do you think that she was depressed? She's depressed because she can't hold the state that she had at the seminar. Because what Tony Robbins does, very smartly, very intensely, very wonderfully, is that he gets you to scream and yell and get your emotional state up and see, have you look at the best version of yourself, and you're rah-rah here and rah-rah there, and you walk on fire and you're feeling unstoppable, and then he sells you something, which is the Mastery University. So he gets his peak state, and you're pretty sure that you're just living there then, right? But the nature of all things is a cycle. So when you're that high, what do you think you're going to do?
You're going to usually get that low.
You burn yourself out, and you have to drop down and come back. And, when I was doing Tony Robbins, just so it's said, and we can teach you this at the Integrated Human, because the recipe for this shit is really easy. I hit my 8-year financial goals in 3 years. And if you don't think that's impressive, that's impressive. I was debt-free by the time I was 45, and I owned buildings and houses and such. So that's amazing. To understand that you can do that is amazing, and I'm grateful to Tony forever for that. He's amazing. He's a very cool guy. He's a very cool guy. So he has value, just so it's said. I'm not coming down on him. But what I'm saying is that peak state that you get when you're totally focused on this and you're completely reminding yourself of it, it's a jacuzzi experience, because the reality is, if you have not changed, if you have not upgraded,
you can't hold the change.
You can't hold the change. You can't stay in the channel. The flow state continuum weekend is the channel. We help you clear the channel so that you can maintain that peak state. So you can maintain that doer state and absorb the highs and lows. You see, he teaches you to get high, but he doesn't teach you to absorb the lows and reconstitute the channel again when things are maybe not flowing or high energy or whatever, because you can't sleep at a high energy state. Try to take a nap in the middle of his events. It's impossible.
Because it's so very easy.
Yeah, right. It's so much energy, right? But then there's the fall afterwards, because there's always a balancing. So what kind of people do you feel should be at the flow state continuum? Who are we looking for?
Who we're looking for?
Yeah, who are we looking for?
Who are we looking for? Who? So, if you listen to the podcast, which you are, because you hear this, you are already in the channel of who we are looking for.
Yes.
We are looking for our next event in February 7th, 8th, and 9th. We are looking for more people to join us, because we really want the organism that is the event to grow, because you can really feel that the connection you get. We use a lot of breathing of breath work. One of them is 4-4, which is the heart math coherence breathing method.
Oh, it's important, yeah.
Yeah, which means that you really open up your heart. It is scientifically proven. And when you are that many people in a room, you become one. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful to watch. Mm-hmm. You can feel your heart opening. Mm-hmm. And if you're scared of emotion, it's not a overflow. It's just peace. in a different way and connecting with others. It's really, really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not violent. Because people are a little bit afraid it's going to be violent because of what if you have emotions.
Like violent change.
Violent change.
Not violent in terms of like
fighting.
Rioting in the streets.
But,
yes, we are black belts, but we're not beating anybody up.
You kind of get the connection with everybody, but also yourself.
Yeah.
And we want more people to attend because the more we are, the larger the experience.
Yeah, the deeper you go, the bigger the group, the deeper the field, right?
Yeah, and I really want to go deeper. So I need more people. I really want more people. There, I would say it's a very affordable price. It's 3,000 something.
Yeah.
And the people we are looking for are 2 categories.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in the category of wanting more in your life, you're feeling like you're lacking, you do not know what to go, you don't know what you want, you have ambitions to become great at something. It can be that you want to be a lawyer or CEO, whatever it is, but you kind of can't find attraction. We're looking for you. And if you're on the other side, are tired of having the same pattern repeating over and over again in your life. If you constantly are finding the wrong boyfriend, girlfriend, if you constantly having a job that you do not feel satisfied with, if you over and over again are feeling kind of a lack and that you're just repeating the same things over and over and over again. The coffee you took yesterday tastes just as shit as the coffee you take today. We're looking for you. So we're looking for the people that would like to change the patterns that they have to get a new result, to enjoy that coffee. If that means to change your coffee beans to actually start to enjoying it, we're gonna find out. So we're looking for these kind of people for the event. And I will say, if you're listening to this podcast, you are already per definition accepted. And since you're all listening to this podcast, we do have an early bird price out.
Yeah.
But we do also have a special price, and that is for everyone that is already somehow entangled in what we're doing. So if you listen to the podcast, you are, and the code is COOLBIRD, capital C, capital B. I will write that in the description of this podcast. If you use that code before October 20th, you will get 1,000 crowns discount on the ordinary price. That means that you get the whole event for less than 3,500 crowns.
Damn.
Less than 3,500 crowns.
Can I sign up?
You can sign up. We really, and it comes from the bottom of my heart, we really would like more people to attend. If you have any questions, and this is really important, if you have any questions, if this event is for you, send us a message.
Yeah.
I'm there to answer those questions. Some of you are sometimes afraid that it's in English. I don't think it's a problem if you listen to this podcast because it's in English, but we are really looking for you, and we would really like to invite you to that weekend. I talked to a lady the other day, and she said she was so stressed out. So she was stressed out, she's on sick leave, and I kind of, but shouldn't you do, and what would make it good for you? Said I don't have time. I don't have time. Well, the thing is, you have to take the time. Yeah. The time for change, the time to do something different will never be there.
True.
It will never be a day when you wake up and you go, now is the time.
Now.
I have time now. Wow, my whole schedule is free. Your kid's gonna need food. Your husband is needing something, finding his socks.
You're gonna stub your toe.
You're gonna stub your toe.
You have bills to pay.
The time is not gonna come to you. You need to take that time.
Make it.
And if you're in a situation where you just feel, fuck, is this it?
Yeah.
Take the time now.
Yeah, it's like if
do it.
Everywhere you are, there you are. Upgrade yourself so that so that you're able to make every moment you experience further better.
And like we said in the last event, we would really like, our goals are to have 2,500 people. That is our vision for this, to have 2,500 people going deep together, and we invite you to be one of them.
Yes.
And we want you to live the life that you would love to live.
That's it. The vision of that life that you love so much, right?
Yeah, that's what we're working with.
Yeah.
That means that you will not get brainwashed. We will not tell you what's up. We just get you into that process where you start to discover that for yourself. Because thank God, me, Jason, well, we have kind of similar visions, but me and you that's listening want different things.
Yeah. People want different things, and we want you to live your best life. And guess what? It may change as you develop.
And that's allowed.
Now, my question to you, Marit, is has your vision of what you actually want changed?
Yes.
Almost constantly, because you're like, oh my God, I just got that. Oh my God. It levels up so much bigger.
Wider.
Yes, much wider.
Much wider.
Yeah.
What I can say and why I really, this is kind of what I would like to do, and I really want you that's listening to attend, and that is because it has changed my life so much. Like I said, life goes up and down, but before I was thrown off with it, I was in sick leave for 9.5 months at one point. And it wasn't better when I got back to work. I just decided that, well, this is not working.
Yeah.
I better do something else. So I went back to work, ended up on sick leave again, but kind of I had to get something moving. I've done it.
Yeah.
But now I'm still having those same emotions, but first of all, I know what they are, and I know how to deal with them. And now, like I said, the biggest change maybe in that regard is that I just go, yes. That means it's gonna change, because that change is so good. Because like you say that the change when you've been throwing a snowball outside and you go in, you put your hands on the cold water, it feels freaking warm.
Yeah.
That's the feeling. You get the feeling of change,
Yeah.
and really starting to enjoy that process. To know that, because when it's been good for a while, it's not that long, it stays really, really good. Then it kind of becomes mellow. And then you're kind of waiting. I'm starting to look for that down, because then it's going to come up.
Yeah.
So you are hereby invited to the Fall Stay Continuum weekend in February 2025.
Yeehaw!
7, 8, and 9 at Park Hotel. We have people coming from Germany, we have people from Sweden, we have people from Holland, and last time we also had from the San Francisco, United States.
You got the American continent, that's it.
Yes.
Bring it.
So
I want South America too now, come on down. Come on up, I should say.
Yeah, come on up. You are invited, and again, the quote is cool bird. One word, capital C, capital B. Put it in the comments. And I make these quotes, and I have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah.
Because you are a cool bird.
That's it.
That's cheesy. That's true.
I like it.
Yes.
So, you had other questions today.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
The time has run out.
No!
Yes, surrender.
Surrender to the moment. The moment is over, Jason. No, but it's too much. I'm too much.
No,
okay.
We're going to have it's a very good question for next time, so stay tuned. But I think the surrendering is really important because, and that's why I asked the question, because I am, and I can understand, because giving up kind of feel like the air is going out of the balloon.
Yeah.
But surrendering feels more like buckling up in that moment to take it further.
Well, that's the whole point. You know, even in a situation in a war, let's say, that you surrender. It's understanding that there is no more fight to be done. The situation is the situation. You're accepting the situation. That's
take the next position.
So the next position, right? It's kind of like a black belt. When they are gonna get thrown, they don't resist, so that when they get thrown, they end up landing on their face. What they do is they go with the throw and go so much with it that by the time they land, they're ready for the next position. You're kind of, in a way, going with the river that you were talking about. You accelerate yourself through it. So
it's going to take you anyway.
It's going to take you anyways. So you might as well use the momentum, and a body in motion has a tendency to stay in motion. That's it. Thermodynamics, second law. So if you know that you're going to be moving anyway, use that momentum to continue your direction. And it could be that you can even turn the direction, but you have to first understand that you have to stop resisting the river. Be where you are. Maximize yourself where you are. Understand that you are where you are. It doesn't mean that you can't be somewhere else later. But if you understand where you are, you have maximal power for change. And when you change you change the world. So remember, you matter. Unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light squared, then your energy. But if you can't be energy, matter.